Atheism forever! Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to This Atheist Life, a live online discussion where we encourage believers and non-believers to come engage in open discussion, continuous learning, skepticism, and science. We provide an opportunity to ask questions and gain a better understanding of what it means to live this life without a belief in God. Check out our website at thisatheistlife.com. Follow us on iTunes, Podbean, and Twitter, and check out our frequent live scopes on Periscope by searching for This Atheist Life. If you like what you hear and you want to donate, knowing that 100% of the money donated goes directly to charity, then head on over to warrior.stjude.org/thisatheistlife. What's up? I'm Steve Hayes. With me, as always, Dave Curry.
Hi.
What's up? How's it going, man?
It's been going. It's going all right.
Yeah.
Got the fever. Got the fever. I guess
It can only be cured with cowbell, or
no, the fever that can only be cured with democracy.
Democracy. Buy a little Bernie Sanders, maybe. You're going to the caucus, so caucus on Saturday, then, huh? Right?
Absolutely, yes.
Who's not registered to vote. Go register to vote and freaking vote. Hello.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Fun.
I mean, well, the most important people that should go and register to vote as soon as possible, I think, are it was Alaska, and of course Washington is on Saturday. Alaska is on Saturday, and I think I want to say Hawaii is on Saturday.
Hawaii?
Yeah, I want to say Hawaii is on Saturday as well, but I don't remember anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. Nice. Well, all that matters is Washington, because that's where we are. So, I mean, Saturday.
Actually, technically, Washington is a must-win for Bernie Sanders. So, you can see my bias showing.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like he's got Washington in the bag. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know how much Hillary has of a hold here. But everybody that I've talked to, all the millennials that I've all talked to are. I mean, we're all pretty much going Bernie. So there's a lot of Bernie support, I think, up here.
Sure. And I feel good about saying that Washington will probably go to Bernie Sanders, but because I drive around all fucking day, and you can kind of tell the demographics by the bumper stickers that people put on their cars,
Right.
And I see far more Bernie stickers every single day than any Hillary stickers.
Yeah, I don't see very many Hillary stickers up here. I mean, yeah, I've seen a couple of those. I already forgot his name. That's how much I really don't care about him. Dude who falls asleep all the time, or look
Carson?
like he falls asleep.
Yeah, I've seen Carson. A couple of these.
Ben Carson. Yeah, there's a couple of Ben Carson stickers. Okay. Like,
right? It's
yeah.
like, oh wow. Well, yeah. At least you were hopeful.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
You had a dream.
Right. Yeah. And we know where your values stand, also, by the way, by putting that sticker in there. So, so tonight's episode,
right,
is all about prayer and faith healing, which is pretty interesting because prayer, we found, obviously is in a lot of different religions, and faith healing is something that's still around, and it's 2016. So, and it's kind of terrifying and horrid, to be honest with you.
Completely sidetracked and forgot to do the rest of our intro stuff.
What's the rest of our intro stuff? Oh yeah,
if you want to join in, if you want to join in on this conversation without doing the live YouTube chat, you can also Skype in by adding This Atheist Life, all one word, onto your Skype, and then you can join us with your lovely voice that way. Or there's the St. Jude's pimp.
Right, which on July 16th is when we're actually going to be running in the St. Jude's Warrior Dash. And so far we have raised, I hate you, David. I hate that you put the dollar symbol at the end. It is so confusing. $100 raised.
and that's how you say it, isn't it? $100.
But you got that,
not
that
dollar 100.
Right? That's true.
$100.
But it's a representation of money. All right. Anyways. So we have a goal of $1,000. And last year, David's team, you guys were the top team funded, so I would love to get us to do that this year, especially.
Exactly. We had $1,000 goal. we went over that goal, and we were actually my wife's team and we were the top team for funds that year.
Right.
So help us do it again.
Right. Well, I mean, think about this, like, and that's pretty amazing that you guys were able to generate so much revenue that went to, St. Jude's and went to actually, cancer research and things like that for children. But I mean, how cool would it be, particularly for, the atheist community, for the top donating team, or the team that to raise the most funds, be an atheist team? Like, be, right there, saying not only just an atheist team, like, oh, I heard that team was atheist, but like straight up, that's our team name, is this Atheist Life, and we'll be wearing shirts and shit. So I think that would be really cool, to bust out and have them announce that, top team this year is this Atheist Life. And it's like, wait, what did they just say? Like, a bunch of atheists are the top donating team? I thought that they were moralist heathen bastards, right? So
yeah, who knows?
Maybe that's just me. But
maybe that's just you.
Anyways, you guys can go to warrior.stjude.org/thisatheistlife to donate. And like I said, we've raised $100 so far, which is pretty cool. So thank you, Anthony, by the way, for donating.
Yeah.
Mangabosco, which, if you haven't checked out Anthony Mangabosco, he was on our Karma and Reincarnation. Yeah, Karma and Reincarnation episode a couple weeks back, and you can check his stuff out if you just search for Anthony Mangabosco on YouTube. So, as I said before, prayer and faith healing, that's what's happening tonight.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're learning about, or have learned about.
That is.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, we aim to talk about, at least. Maybe we're going to attempt to try to talk about that. But as Dave said, and just a few minutes ago, if anybody would like to jump on and chat with us and change the subject, by all means, please feel free. You can jump on and talk about anything that you want, whether it's about the particular topic we picked or whatever's on your mind. So hit us up at This Atheist Life on Twitter, or call us on Skype. So, Dave, what the hell's prayer? Like, what even is, so how would you define it? What if I was someone who wasn't a Christian for 26 years, how would you define prayer to me?
Sure. So, first, we're just going to do a brief look at what some believers define prayer as and what some believers use it for, and then for faith healers healing, whatever. We're going to do a what is it, how it is crap, and how it has failed. Just to let you know.
Yeah, because it does fail, believe it or not. And hopefully not. Yeah.
But so I found this on Focus on the Family, and they define prayer as prayer is a relationship wherein we humbly communicate worship and sincerely seek God's face, knowing that he hears us, loves us, and will respond, though not always in a manner we may expect or desire. Prayer can encompass confession, praise, adoration, supplication, intersection, and more. Intercession, whatever. Intercession and more. So that's the definition from Focus on the Family, which, if you know your
your hate groups,
your hate groups,
you'll recognize that name.
You'll recognize that name. But other definitions for prayer is prayer from the Latin word precari, or to ask earnestly, beg, or entreat, is also known as an invocation or an act that seeks to activate a rapport with an object of worship through deliberate communication. There are different forms of prayer, such as the petitionary prayer, prayers of supplication, thanksgiving, and prayer and praise. These can all happen in the form of public prayer, private prayer, prayer groups, hymns, incantations, formal creedal statements, or spontaneous utterances like Shabana.
Also, wizarding duels, apparently. No, that's not true. Never mind.
Wizarding duels. That would be.
I just felt like that, like with that list of all like public, private, prayer groups, hymns, incantation, dances, formal creed and statements, just like you said, and then just random words or sounds. Like, why not wizard duels? Why not throw that shit in there?
Exactly. And the part that I find interesting is that in the definition that we get from Focus on the Family, which I think is the part that I find interesting, is the part that they say, though not always in a manner we expect or desire, which bleeds out confirmation bias.
Exactly.
Right. It's like, you know, it's this sincerely, you know, sincere trying to seek the face of God, but, you know, it may or may not come back the way you want it. It's like, well, that just is, prayer works when you want it to work, and when it doesn't, you say God's mysterious.
Right. How convenient. Right.
Yeah, how convenient. And prayer may be directed towards a deity, spirit, deceased person, or a lofty idea for the purpose of worshiping, requesting guidance, requesting assistance, confessing transgressions or sins, or to express one's thoughts and emotions. So that's a quick, brief overview of generally what prayer is, though.
And a couple of different ways that you may the different forms, right, of prayer that you may see. So that's pretty interesting. Right. I mean, I don't know, that list was just like, felt like it could have just kept going. But
I know. Yeah.
So like you said, so that was kind of a good like overview of what prayer is in like a general sense. But, you know, I can prayer and so can you. I'm curious as to kind of what, well, we were curious, I suppose, as to kind of what the difference between like Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and potentially Hindu or Hindi and Buddhism. If we have time, we'll get to those. But we're kind of curious on what the difference between them are, and kind of how they view them. And again, we kind of just went through Wiki and a few other places. So I imagine that based on what we say here, it may vary, given your sect that you of Christianity you may or may not have grown up, or Judaism or Islam, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, but when talking about Christians, Christian prayers are pretty much varied. Like they can be completely spontaneous, or they can read entirely from a text, like the Anglican Book of Common Prayer. The most common prayer among Christians is the Lord's Prayer, which we know from Metallica, obviously, thanks Metallica. Which, according to the Gospels,
lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Right? So that's Matthew 6:9-13. It's this is how Jesus taught his disciples to pray, or one of the ways, I suppose, right? The Lord's Prayer is a model for prayers of adoration, confession, and petition in Christianity. So similar to what you were saying before, you know, sometimes it's just to thank God for all his great, amazing things that he doesn't actually do. You know, or he does do, he does do things like, you know, he gives little children AIDS and, you know, diseases, and he lets kids starve in Africa.
Helps you find your keys.
Yeah, but he helps you, right, exactly. Sorry, he helps you find your keys, and he gives you like amazing, you know, athletic talent so that you can make millions of dollars.
It's funny that this actually reminds me of a conversation that I was having with Paul earlier today, because he found a local Christian station, just like surfing through his radio dial or whatever, and he found a Christian station, and he pointed me in the direction of it. And of course, as soon as I'm listening to it on my phone, the advertisement that comes up is like this. It's like a prayer hotline almost, where like this is totally the epitome of commercialized prayer, because it said that you could go to this website right, almost. You could go to this website and there's a link that you click on where it's basically petitioning for a prayer group to service prayers for your loved one.
It's like a pray for me button. Like, I need a prayer.
Exactly. Yes. Specifically, this advertisement was telling them, go to this website, click on this link, input your loved lost one's name or whatever. Right. Like, they were basically saying, we all know the love of Jesus, but we know that there's those out there who have yet to find the love of Jesus.
Right. So please
go to this website. Save them. Exactly. Please put in their name, and we will take that name and direct it towards our prayer group, and they will do prayers of salvation for your loved one. And
do you think they actually do? Like that's an interesting concept. Do you think that, I mean, when they get these prayers, do you think they actually go and like pray these names? Like, I'm just trying to think, like, is there actually a group that sits down like, all right, hey, Larry, you know, Jenny.
Well, I mean,
how's it going? It's so like everyone got our list today, so we're all going to pray for you. Everyone got these 47 people that were submitted. Yeah, okay,
dude,
let's do this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, what the?
Guarantee yes. Remember the Periscope for
Oh gosh, you're gonna bring up what's her name, huh?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I forgot her name too.
Girl who said
the talking tongues, right? Yeah.
Yeah, how like they were doing their prayer circle meeting, whatever, and she just started like, everybody, give us things to pray about, and she just started going down the line. She just started going down the line where it was, let's pray for blah blah blah, then bring blah 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 home, and I guarantee that they actually do some sort of prayer circle every day or every night or something, and they go through an email list where they just add up the names.
Man, how cool would it be if they did that, and instead of getting people who wanted prayers, like people put in names of, like people in need, and instead of giving, instead of making those people sit around thinking that they're doing good, they actually like donated dollars, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or
put together
instead of prayers, actually put together like cash, or fruit, exactly, or medical supplies or something that they, people actually need, instead of making themselves feel like they're doing something even though they're not, and then using that to confirm that their almighty God lives. Like, that's just
because what if, like, how shitty would you feel if somebody put in there, pray for my cousin or whatever, they have cancer.
Yeah,
it's like, how shitty would you feel if all that you learn about this person who feels like they need help for their cousin who's dying of cancer, and you're just going to sit there and be like, okay, Lord, let's pray.
Right.
Again, I guess that makes them feel good. I guess that makes them feel good to do nothing.
It just makes it feel good. Well, I mean, and like, and maybe I'll extrapolate a little bit here. Maybe this is too far, but I mean, if you think about it, so like, again, there's people who are starving out there, right? There's starving kids, starving parents. There's starving people all over the place. What they're doing is they have this website up for people to click on or put in names and stuff, and then it goes to this group. Now this group gets together. I assume this group getting together has a place that has a roof over their head in order to do it. They have electricity that's pumping through. They have heat or AC, depending on whether it's hot or cold outside. I bet they probably brought food or snacks and things of that nature so that they can eat or snack, while they're doing all these prayers, while people actually need help. Cola. Do you know what I mean? Like, right? You know what I mean? Think about it. Like, if you go to this prayer group thing, and I'm just kind of like spitballing based on my church experiences. There were people who like almost like potluck style, and so you're coming in to do this prayer stuff, and you're like, I'm helping people. And you guys are sitting there chowing down on food when there's people who actually need that food or really need help, and you're just sitting there thinking you actually have done something when you really haven't. Like, how arrogant is that? How arrogant is it to think like I'm actually helping people by sitting here and doing nothing? Like, oh, it's just crazy. It's just mind blowing.
Of course, what religion does. You know that they have some sort of food drive as well.
Well, they got a food drive, but that doesn't mean necessarily that they're actually taking that food to people who need it, right? I don't know. One would hope, right? One would hope that's what they're doing.
One would hope.
Right, but I mean, that's the other thing too, is that we know that churches don't have to say what it is. Like, when they get cash and things like that, they don't actually have to report where that money actually went. They could say, this is going to charity, and take 95% of it, put it into the church, put 5% of what your donation was into charity, and that actually counts as giving to charity. And a lot of churches do that. A lot of churches take massive amounts of the charity money so they can fund their church.
I mean, the greatest examples are the megachurches and Joel Osteen. I mean, if you look up how much that motherfucker is worth and how much money his church actually takes in, then holy shit, his house that he has, that is multi-million-dollar home, I mean, it's like, okay, where is all of the charity that you've done? Right. Whereas, like, give me an example of all of the charity that you've done. But then again, Joel Osteen, he preaches prosperity gospel. So,
well, yeah,
God will provide all of that prosperity and charity to them by donating money to him.
It's just crazy. Like, there's a ton of churches around here, and you would think that our community, now given we have a good community, it's not necessarily because of the churches, but you would think that with this many churches and them, supposedly giving back to their community and doing things for their community, other than, hosting a school play because they're the only ones around with a big enough stage and the money to do it. But other than that type of thing, actually giving back to the community and doing things, you would think that like the community would be maybe not spotless, but I would actually argue spotless based on the number of freaking churches that are out here. But you'd probably see more people out picking up garbage, and you'd see our maybe you'd see like our parks and stuff like that, be in better condition and stuff like that. But you don't see any of the money going to a church necessarily turning around and making a huge difference in the community. What I've seen lately, and this is just a rant, sorry, just up the street where I live.
I feel like we're just bitching now.
I'm just bitching now, but the street that I live on, there's been like 6 different churches on that street, and all of them have upgraded their churches because one upgraded and the next one had to upgrade because they can't be, that other one can't be bigger than the next one. I mean, there's literally like 4 or 5 churches. I don't know if it's 6. We're throwing a random number. There's at least 3 churches that have just upgraded their.
At least 3.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Anyways.
At least.
Yeah. So, anyway, sorry. Total rant there. Let me tell you about Judaism.
Let's talk about Judaism.
My bad. So with Judaism, observant Jews pray 3 times a day. The Shacharit, the Mincha, and the Ma'arav, with lengthier prayers kind of on social days, such as the Shabbat and Jewish holidays, including Musaf and the reading of the Torah. So there's kind of there's a prayer book essentially used by the Jews all over the world containing a set order of daily prayers. The Jewish prayers is usually described as having 2 aspects: the kavana, which is intention, and the keva, which is ritualistic or like structured elements. The most important Jewish prayer is the Shema Yisrael. It's the Hear, O Israel, I guess is what it translates to, and the Amidah, which is the standing prayer. Which is kind of strange that there's two important ones 3 times a day, but there's only 2 important ones. What do they do for the 3rd one? Lastly, with Judaism, the communal prayer is preferred over solitary prayer, which is kind of interesting. They prefer to pray in groups rather than by yourself. Even though it says, it's in Matthew, it says to pray by yourself, right? That's a New Testament. And the quorum of 10 adult males, a minyan. Really? A minyan? That's what it's called? M-I-N-Y-A-N? Minyan. Is considered Orthodox Judaism and is a prerequisite for several communal prayers. So kind of interesting. They have like again 3 prayers 3 times a day. They prefer that you do it in groups rather than by yourself. And then they have. And
this is all doctrine that we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. Which Judaism, obviously Old Testament, right? Hey, what's up, Claire and Preston also, and Felix? I'll just name all y'all. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate you guys coming back. If you guys got any questions, again, feel free to hit us up. And it sounds like now this is exciting. I'm really excited. It sounds like Felix is going to hit us up on Skype and actually give us our first real test, right, with Skype. So that's kind of cool. Plus, it's also what I'm kind of excited about as well is Felix is just a homie that I met on Periscope. And that's actually one of the things that we really want to promote with the show is we have some topics and we'll talk about shit because we like to kind of educate ourselves and we kind of feel it's important also to educate you. But ultimately what we really like to do is hear from you guys. We'd really love to take the conversation in random rants like I was just earlier, but from your guys' perspective and things that you guys want to talk about. So it's really important to us that if you guys, to actually give us a call and chat with us, whether it's on Twitter or you call us up on Skype, or hit us up on Periscope when we do our Periscopes and things like that. So, that's the thing is we want to hear from the community. We want to hear from you guys. So again, hit us up. Hopefully again, Felix will do it. Do it.
Right.
So do it. So lastly, before I let you talk, Dave, because.
I was just going to comment that, yeah, I agree that it's really interesting. I am just going to comment. Whoa. Hang on. I got Bubba Varro is on your contacts. Hello, add me.
Snap! There's Felix adding, right? Why don't you add him? And I'll finish up Islam, and that way we can dive right into whatever Felix wants to talk about. So with Islam, the Arabic word for prayer is salat, and the salat in Arabic is facing the Kaaba in Mecca. The prayer, particularly the 5 daily obligatory prayers, which is kind of interesting. There's 5 of them. It's one of the pillars of Islam. And the command to ritual prayer is in the Quran in several chapters. The Prophet Muhammad showed each Muslim the true method of offering prayers, not the fake method that you might get confused with someone else, but the true method, the real one. Thus, the same method is observed up to the present time, which is interesting. But I guess it's not necessarily that interesting. I've heard that like one difference between like the Quran and the Bible is the Quran is still the same translation. It's still the same book that it was then as it is now. It hasn't been like translated and fucked around with like the Bible has. So that doesn't surprise
Right.
me.
Well, yeah.
Doing
I
the
mean,
same kind of ritualistic concepts.
I mean, if at least from what I learned from Paul, they require that you read it in the original Arabic, so that way there's no translation errors or anything like that with,
Right. Well,
Unity.
unfortunately, I don't necessarily have the time to learn Arabic. I'm currently playing with Python, so sorry. Sorry, I'm learning geek languages right now. But so when it comes to Islamic prayer, so there is the quote call for prayer, or the adhan, where the muezzin, that's an interesting word, calls for the followers to stand together for prayer. The prayer consists of standing by mentioning Allahu Akbar, or Allah Akbar, right? We've all heard that before. God, or Allah, or God is great. Followed by reciting the first chapter of the Quran. Huh, I didn't know that. So afterwards, the person prostrates. Okay, that's a funny word. Prostrates.
Yeah, prostrates to them get down on their knees, and then they go all the way down.
They go all the way. Whoa! Now you're getting a little sexual here. That's not really what actually happens. But hey, right? So they get down. They get down on their knees and pray God, right? So the prayer ends with the following words: "Peace be with you and God's mercy." Which during the prayer, a Muslim cannot talk or do anything else besides pray. Which you've probably seen, like big prayer, like where everyone's kind of down, laying there, just kind of still. You've probably seen pictures and things of that nature, but yeah, that's
right.
Why. And certain Shia sects, that's a weird combination, combine the 5 prayers into 3 prayers a day, providing several hadith as supporting evidence. So it looks like there's a little bit of debate, I suppose, between how many prayers you're supposed to have, but not anything like it sounds like in Christianity, where it's like, no, you gotta pray by yourself. No, pray in groups. Like, no, go just pray to someone's face. Like, no, write it down. No, tweet it. No, smell something. I don't know. There's so many freaking weird things you do when it comes to prayer. Maybe that's just me. Are you still working with Felix? Yeah, Python is life.
Sure. Yeah. click. Yeah, and so I'm totally this other person that messaged us. Whoever you are, Bubba, I don't fucking trust you because your profile picture is from like nose to hips.
Well, there's some people that just don't want to show. Oh, wait, they're just boobies?
Just boobies.
I find that hard to believe. I'm willing to give them a chance because, I mean, I don't know why someone would want to put that as their picture, but I mean, I suppose you could have your finger right over the end call button, right? So. Oh,
I'm just totally declining it. Sorry if that's anybody important.
If it is, just mention in the chat that it's you and that you just happen. Maybe those are your boobies and they look that great. I don't know. I'm not on the thing. I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Makes sense why you stop talking though, Dave. Just sitting there staring.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Right. Yeah. No, I can find titties a lot easier than looking at a profile picture on Skype. So yeah, we're gonna bring Felix in when we start to talk about faith healing.
Cool.
So I'm just go ahead and run through the information that we have regarding prayer with Hinduism and Buddhism here. So. Hinduism has incorporated many kinds of prayer, from fire-based rituals to philosophical musings, while chanting involves by dictum, recitation of timeless verses or verses with timings and notations. Involves deep meditation on the preferred deity / God. Again, the object to which prayers are offered could be a persons referred as devtas, trinity, or incarnation of either devtas or trinity, or simply plain formless meditation as practiced by the ancient sages. All of these are directed to fulfilling personal needs or deep spiritual enlightenment.
I've never heard of like a formless meditation. What is that? It's like standing around thinking? Is that what formless meditation is? I feel like that's what that kind of is. I don't know if there's form here,
Well, from what it sounds like that prayer is a form of meditation, and you can either pray or meditate to a specific god or deity or form, or you can just meditate prayers.
Gotcha.
Formless meditation, yeah. At least that's what it sounds like to me. Again, open to interpretation, much like everything that's religious, open to interpretation. So Hindus in India have numerous devotional movements. Whoa, devotional movements. I need to stop drinking. Hindus may pray to, or drink more. Hey, I'll drink that. Hindus may pray to the highest absolute god Brahman, or more commonly to its three manifestations, namely creator god called the Brahma, or preserver god called Vishnu, or the destroyer god.
Shiva.
So that the creation cycle can start and refresh. The destroyer god Shiva, or if you've ever played Final Fantasy,
she's the ice goddess.
The ice goddess, yeah. And at the next level to Vishnu's avatar is Rama and Krishna, or to many other male or female deities. Typically, Hindus pray with their hands joined together. The hand gesture is similar to the popular Indian greeting Namaste.
Namaste in bed. No, so I remember, I don't remember if we actually chatted about it, but I'm pretty sure we talked a little bit about the Hindu religion. Yeah, pretty sure we did. About how they have different gods, different god beliefs. The gods, they like reincarnate, apparently. Very similar, like the whole reincarnation and karma is a Hindu, obviously, is very prevalent in Hindu, in Hindi. And so apparently the gods also have different forms, which is why they have a ton of different names, like Ganesh and like Brahma and Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma, tons. There's a ton of names. So,
and Preston says that prayer may have some benefit from its meditative and reflective aspects, but obviously no supernatural reciprocation.
No.
Man, I can't fucking read.
I has words and so can you.
Right. I know English.
I know it all. Atheism forever. I need
Atheism forever!
I need a way to push that button. That button is amazing.
Yep, it's there. So yeah, I mean, basically it sounds, I agree kind of with Preston there that, it sounds a lot like it's just a form of meditation in a way that you can direct it specifically to, to a specific god, or just to meditate on your prayers, on what you are hopeful for, what you wish for. Buddhism, on the other hand, is much more atheistic in that certain Buddhist sects prayer accompanies meditation, directly accompanies meditation. Buddhism, for the most part, sees prayer as a secondary supportive practice to meditation and scriptural study. Fuck.
Buddha
claimed that human beings possess the capacity and potential to become liberated or enlightened through contemplation, leading to insights. Prayer is seen mainly as a powerful psychophysical practice that can enhance meditation.
Interesting. I like that's funny. It's through contemplation. I like that so if you think a lot, it's gonna work out for you. Just so you know, you're doing it right. You'll be enlightened if you think a lot. Huh? What a tautology.
Doing it right. What do you know? What do you know?
Right. Maybe not tautology, but that seems pretty. It seems like those two kind of go hand in hand. That if you try to enlighten yourself, or consistently think and investigate, perhaps trying to find evidence to back the claims that you're thinking about. I don't know. That one would become smarter, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm just saying more.
Of course not.
No, you have more knowledge. How about that? Better?
Sure.
One becomes more knowledgeable. So.
Okay, so Felix, I'm going to try and call you. I was just checking my settings to make sure that
time, right?
Figured the fuck out.
So let's call Felix. Let's pull him in, and then we should do a quick PIMPERMISSION. So that way, because we got 2 cool PIMPERMISSIONs, and maybe throw that in, and then we'll actually dive into some faith healing. What do you think?
Oh, okay.
We can talk to Felix and then cut him off with the PIMPERMISSION.
Well, no, okay. Let's do the PIMPERMISSION first, because I'm not exactly sure how we can talk while doing the PIMPERMISSION and speak to Felix at the same time.
Oh, fair.
So let's do the PIMPERMISSION first. We'll do the PIMPERMISSION first.
Right.
And
now
then
Dave's
we'll
got to
try
get ready in a different way.
I gotta get everything set up here.
I'll keep you entertained and wave of hands. So press the digitation so that way you're not seeing the wizard or the man behind the curtain. You just see the wizard, right? Aha, there's the logo.
Right.
Woo! And I'll try to talk until I hear someone else talking, which is, fun. Maybe. So enjoy these PIMPERMISSIONs.
What's something I could do with a very sexy lady friend of mine that people would find provocative, interesting, and entertaining enough to tune in week after week? Oh, I know. A podcast. If you'd like to hear me and Kate be provocative and thought-provoking week after week, join us on the Unbuckling the Bible Belt podcast. We'd love for you to be part of our audiological three-way.
Ooh.
Are you tired of hearing the same old depressing news?
Exhausted with the state of the world and see no hope for its future?
Then why not escape reality with the Atheist Apocalypse podcast?
Come meet the people in the mysterious events of the Tri-Counties, where the despair is hilarious and the baseless hopelessness is scarce.
A fictional comedy audio story, unlike anything in the podcasting realm. Atheist Apocalypse will take you away from your daily woes while informing you about the secret plot to take over the planet.
Stupid. Don't tell the listeners of the show that. I'm not ready.
Sorry, I thought they should know.
You're an idiot. They need to listen to Atheist Apocalypse first. Otherwise, they'll be unprepared for the news.
If your podcast lineup needs some comedy, or even if it doesn't, add Atheist Apocalypse Podcast to your queue to enjoy our bi-weekly adventures with the wacky cast and crew. You can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and YouTube, or find all the information you need at atheistapocalypse.com.
You can also find Dave and Steve Hayes, these two people. You can find us on the Atheist Apocalypse. Next episode, as a matter of fact, will be our debut appearance. I'm pretty excited because we're a lot more involved in the third season.
Third season, yes,
a bit more involved with our characters, which is pretty cool. But it's fun to be a part of something different. That just chat about Atheist Apocalypse again, just because we are part of that crew. It's like I said, it is definitely different. I haven't heard any other podcasts that kind of do like that skit kind of concept.
Yeah,
so
and
it's pretty fun.
There's a lot of big things that are going to be happening with Atheist Apocalypse, and so you should all definitely check them out. I'm going to have links in the description below where you can find them and listen to their amazing work. Paul, Brian, everybody over there does some great fucking work on that show.
Everyone's great.
Deborah, everybody. All right, so get ready, Felix. Get ready.
Felix? You ready for this? And are you ready, listeners?
Gosh. Oh my gosh!
Right.
All right. Let's try and do this. Let's see what it does here.
Right. Yeah. Try not to stutter, Felix. Right. No worries.
Not to stutter.
We're gonna give you that fun noise while it's connecting.
What up?
What's happening, dude?
What's up?
Not much.
That's why I had the other. Hang on, I can't hear you at all.
Dave
I
has to
did
finish
something
this stuff.
stupid.
But I can hear you,
That's
so that's
right.
cool with me. What's happening, man? How you doing tonight?
We just got back from church, actually.
Really? What? That's right.
Yeah, I was in band practice.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool. So you actually still do band stuff at church? Is that because is that the only place that you can like that you can actually do it, or that's where your band is?
Sorry,
not really.
Sorry, that was my bad. Oh shit.
I'm still going
That
to
was my
church
bad.
because of
Forgot
my
that I can't.
parents, mostly.
Okay,
But
continue.
funny thing is, I'm in both bands, the youth band and like the main band, and I'm the vice president of like the youth group,
What?
which is like, yeah,
Wow.
because this whole atheist, awakening, I'm gonna say, it's pretty recent. So
That's amazing. So do the members of your church know what's going on, or do you keep it to yourself?
oh no. They find out.
Damn.
I'm gonna be church counseling. I'm gonna have to go talk to the pastor and then to the elders because the devil is trying to possess me or something.
Right.
Or I don't know.
Oh man. Wow, that's crazy. And so you mentioned you. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'm just gonna try and do something crazy here. I'm gonna try and do something crazy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and make it so that we can see Felix. So keep doing what you're doing here.
Okay. Pull Felix in. No, that's amazing, dude. Because that's I mean, I can only imagine how hard that is. Have you looked into like the clergy project and things of that nature? Have you checked out just like kind of see what they can do for you?
I've heard about it, but I haven't like gotten too deep into it. I'm just, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me the fact that I have to go to church because most of my friends are there and they're like good friends. So it doesn't really bother me that I have to, keep going to church. I want to stop having to go religiously, because of all the responsibilities that I have. But it doesn't really bother me to go.
Huh. Well, that's pretty cool, and that's admirable because I mean you have there's a sense of responsibility, right, to your friends and bandmates and things of that nature. So it's cool that you don't let your lack of your heathenness, the devil in you really get a hold of you. You know what I mean? That's cool that you still chill there
Exactly.
and hang out. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you have any experience with faith healing then? Have you ever
Picture, motherfucker. Okay,
that's
sorry.
amazing. I'll keep it highlighted on you. It's pretty rad. So do you have any experience with faith healing? Like, is that a big thing in your church? Is that like?
We don't practice faith healing. Yes, we do pray for, healing, I guess, but we don't. You're never gonna see, at least in my church, people coming and they have like, I have pancreatic cancer or something, and they start praying, and all of a sudden you're all okay, and everything is okay, and you don't have cancer. There's been situations over here in Puerto Rico where people use that as a money scam, and they're downright evil because they take advantage of believers and stuff, and they guarantee that they're gonna be all cleansed and stuff, and they'll cure cancer, they'll cure AIDS, and all the other terminal
all the stuff.
But at least in my church, it's not like that.
Wow. No, that's cool. It sounds like you're around people that are a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Still in the same. Well, Well, so how would you define faith healing then, Felix? What would you say faith healing is? Because you don't have access to the document that Dave and I have. So I know you're not going to read it.
True. Usually when I think of faith healing, that's just what comes to mind is just somebody that's obviously a believer and that they're like super desperate for healing, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like desperate because they have cancer or they have some sort of terminal illness and they're gonna die in 2 weeks or something, and they just seek their faith, their deity of choice, whether that's Christianity or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Whatever the religious belief is. Do you like when? How do people apply faith healing? Like, is it just through like prayers, or is there like lay of hands, or like I've seen some crazy things where people are like slapping other people, which I'm utterly confused by. But I don't get how you could get slapped and that somehow heals you. But like,
I've heard of cases where people actually perform faith surgery or something like that. What they do is they take it's a scam obviously, but what they do is to make it more believable. They lay you down on a table or whatever, and they take guts from chickens and dead animals and stuff, and using sleight of hand, pretty much, they just it looks like if they were like sticking their hand into their body and ripping off the the tissue that's damaged or something.
No, yeah, that is actually, I remember that was on Man on the Moon, Andy Kaufman, how he went down to Southern America or something, and he tried to get rid of his cancer and found out that it was a scam, and so that was really kind of interesting.
I've never heard of that before. That is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, that's also, when I think of faith healing, of course, you get the whole, like, Christian prayer faith healing, but I also think of, shamans and witch doctors and shit like that as well,
Yeah,
actually look up on YouTube, because that practice, it's actually a magic routine that magicians do. It's called, what's it called again? It's called psychic surgery, I think it is, or something like that. Something surgery.
It's called gullibility. Holy shit. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. I mean, holy shit.
It's crazy.
Wow. That's mind-blowing.
And they teach you how to like prep everything, how to prepare the fake blood packet things that you have to like blow up when you pierce the skin or something.
Right.
And it's crazy. And
Wow,
people
so-
actually believe this.
I was gonna say. I mean, that's like. This is a straight up scam. I can see some people actually thinking like, if I put my hand on your forehead and say some magic words, that it's gonna cure you, right? I could see that, but
Bring this man up on his feet.
Alima.
see,
Alima.
you know what's up? Yeah. So I mean, that's that kind of thing I can see. But this is like straight up. You know what I mean? Like if you go in and then they start teaching you that, like I mean, personally, I'd be like, yeah, wait, guys, like this is like this doesn't, like, you're literally lying to the other person. Like, are you kidding me? It seems so strange.
Yeah.
Like you're saying,
it's evil.
right? People want
It's
want to
evil
profit.
because you're using other people's desperation and their need to believe and so on. You're using that as profit. I don't know.
Yep.
For me, it's just downright evil.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's just freaking crazy. Well,
That is crazy.
Wikipedia defines faith healing as faith healing is the ritualistic practice of prayer and gestures such as laying on of hands. That sounds weird. That are claimed to elicit divine intervention in spiritual and physical healing, especially in the Christian practice. Believers assert that the healing of disease and disability can be brought about by religious faith through prayer, which we just talked about that, didn't we? And a few other rituals, according to adherents.
Which would be the voodoo witch doctor shit,
Right,
the scam
exactly.
shit rituals.
Yep, rituals and dances and those talking in tongues, right? Maybe, I don't know. But it's to stimulate a divine presence and power. Claims attributed to a myriad of techniques such as prayer, divine intervention, or the ministrations of an individual healer that can cure illnesses that have been popular throughout history. Isn't that's convenient that God gives these magical powers of healing to various people, select people, and they don't go to hospitals and just cure everyone.
Exactly. I
Why are
mean,
they not in hospitals?
if I knew that prayer worked and I could cure diseases, like if I was one of those tent pastors, and I was sitting there curing people of their fucking scoliosis and shit and making people walk, I would make goddamn business out of that. I would go down
Right.
to hospitals and I would straight up go and start curing people if I
Right.
knew that it positively worked.
And I would charge
Yeah,
them
and
half of what insurance
and
is.
the funny thing is, usually faith healing only works in things that you can't physically see change. Like, I've never seen a faith healer make an amputee's arm reappear.
Exactly.
No, of course not.
Ever.
It's always like, oh, my back pain, and then the person stands up like, oh,
I can walk.
Gone. Yeah, exactly. Or I have cancer, and then it's gone. Like, went in remission, because that's what it does sometimes. Like, that's a normal
Exactly.
thing for it to do. I mean, not necessarily normal, but it's it's not an unheard of thing to do. So, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, the amputee one. I think. I mean, the amputee aspect alone that alone I think just destroys the faith healing argument and the prayer argument. Well, the prayer behind praying and it.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that just destroy the faith healing argument.
True.
But
I mean, the amputee one, like all throughout history, like Felix was saying, is like you could, they claim like, oh, they're curing leprosy and they're curing cancer and they're curing back pain, and they're, all that kind of stuff. But you don't ever see something, really serious, like said, like an amputee or like a major head wound or something like that just magically is just cured, like nothing happened. Like that kind of shit doesn't happen because that,
You always hear stories of people like, oh, the Lord came to my life and I was gay and now I'm straight, or some stuff like that. But you never see like, I was born without legs and I accepted Jesus Christ into my life and now I can run.
got legs.
Now I have sexy legs and stuff.
Right? Check these beats out. Brand new.
Claire says the placebo effect at best.
Absolutely.
And I completely
Exactly.
agree. But
I think
so
prayer, it's basically just that, you know,
Yeah.
placebo effect for believers.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely right. Confirmation bias.
So the American, we have more information that we can discuss here. So the American Cancer Society states, this is really kind of funny because
This is amazing. I had
well,
no
first,
idea until learning about this.
miraculous recoveries have been attributed to many techniques commonly classified as faith healing. It can involve prayer, a visit to a religious shrine, or simply a strong belief in a supreme
I
being.
got a strong belief in this kind of work.
The American Cancer Society states, quote, available scientific evidence does not support claims that faith healing can actually cure physical ailments. Death, disability, and other unwanted outcomes have occurred when faith healing is elected instead of medical care for serious injuries or illnesses.
And we've heard of many people, many children dying because of faith healing, and I wonder why that from things that we cure or we can, you know, take care of on a daily basis. That
Exactly.
mind blowing. Yeah, absolutely mind blowing.
And of course, you know, there have been many instances of children dying and adults dying when faith healing has been used in place of medical care.
Yep.
I got a bunch of links. Which
Just gonna
is
say,
just a small drop in the water. Yeah, I have a bunch of links that I'm going to put in the description below where you can actually look up some of these cases, and it's just a drop in the bucket of the cases that have involved people and children dying from using faith healing instead of medical care. So it's fucking ridiculous.
yeah, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. So when we talk about like faith healing Christianity, like it's regarded as a Christian belief that God heals people through the power of the Holy Spirit. And faith healing often involves laying on hands when it comes again to Christianity. It's also called supernatural healing, divine healing, miracle healing, among other things. It's another one of those slew of just various, you know, words that you can jumble together that kind of make it sound like you're doing healings.
Right.
Healing in the Bible is often associated with the ministry of specific individuals like Elijah, Jesus, and Paul. So yeah, so you're what is your church denomination, Felix? Is it just Garden Variety Christian?
It's a Protestant.
Protestant. Oh wow, Protestant. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you're
Disciples of Christ.
Wow, Disciples of Christ. Interesting, right? That almost sounds like badass, but you know, not completely, right?
Well, I can play metal in church, and nobody cares.
I literally was about to ask you, like, what do you play, by the way? Like, what type of music do you play?
I play the guitar. I'm the electric guitar player.
Okay. Is it just like church hymns? Because I watched a couple Periscopes where you were playing guitar while answering questions. So I saw that aspect. But like, what in church do you play? Like, is it just like, you know, I mean, do you like Taylor Swift that bad boy up? You know what I mean? Or do you know?
Usually when it's the youth band, we usually play Hillsong United type, Casting Crown type music. It's Christian, but it's kind of Christian rock type music.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But
fair enough.
in like in the main band, it's mostly just hymns.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, we try to spice it up, quote unquote, a little bit, but it's basically just hymns.
Like with a whammy bar kind of thing, you just throw a whammy in there every now and again, kind of spice it up, just like wow, wow. Like that's
if I had a whammy bar, I would.
Well, no, it's funny that you say that. How, like, you know, you try to spice it up with, like, you know, Christian rock, but you know, like, there are denominations out there who take the stance on Christian rock that it's not actual praise. You know, like, you're not actually worshiping Jesus when you take a hymn or you try to do it in that way. It's really fucking interesting. It's just
that seems really strange
because
they accept.
I guess the one thing that I do appreciate and admire from my denomination, or at least the church that I go to, it's that at least over here it's pretty liberal, and they let the youth express their praise to the Lord or whatever in whatever way they may choose to. If I choose to praise Jesus with metal, or maybe the bass player, he's into hip hop, maybe he wants to like rap about the Lord or whatever,
right?
Then they're not gonna put us down, and they're not gonna say, oh no, that's Satan music and stuff. They actually let us express ourselves. So
Nice.
I guess that's one thing that they're admirable for.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. I was just gonna say that. Like, that's amazing. It sounds like you get a pretty progressive church in that aspect. So, are there any gay people at your church, like openly gay, that come and chill, hang out? Are they pretty okay with that, or
openly gay? No.
But
I'm pretty sure there's gotta be one or two people over there that are gay.
Right.
But actually, over here not over here. When they legalized the whole gay marriage and stuff, our church, it's part of a union thing, Disciples of Christ, in here and the U.S. And that type of church in the U.S. They accepted gay marriage, and they said that, who are we to judge gay people? Love is love. We're not going to judge you. Whatever. And
God will.
Over here, it's still really, really frowned upon.
Oh,
when
man.
the whole gay marriage thing started going on, over here, a memo started going around, between the different churches that fall in, the same union that my church belongs to. And the head pastor said, whoever openly declares that he or she is a homosexual or whatever shall have to revoke whatever responsibility they have in church. So if you're a pastor, or if you're in clergy or whatever, you have to step down because you're an abomination to the Lord, and you have to repent. And until you repent, you will be,
Technically, you're supposed to die. Just saying, if you actually read the book.
True.
So
Not my book,
even
I'm just saying.
even though the union that your church is a part of has accepted the law here in the United States, they still are adhering to the discrimination that they have in your country by saying, hey, even though we'll accept you, we're not actually going to accept you.
Yep.
Really going.
Because at least Christianity, from a Hispanic/Latino standpoint,
Later, Claire.
It's really, really conservative. So, whenever there's something new, like a new interpretation of so-and-so subject, we tend to catch on really late to the party because we're like really, really conservative in some things. And homosexuality is one of them, apparently.
So I feel like this is a good transition to talk about faith healing and the law, man.
Yeah, I mean,
at least here in the United States.
Yeah, well, I'll just mention that there's faith healing in Catholicism as well. And then there's also faith healing in Islam, that Islam has it like reciting the Quran over water or olive oil and drinking, bathing and anointing in oneself in it. Like, that's apparently one thought. You just dump yourself in oil and stuff, and then placing of the right hand. Yeah, one of the rituals. Yeah, they have a couple of rituals, like placing the right hand and things like that. So it's not just necessarily Christianity that throws out the faith healing stuff, though it's primarily Christianity that throws out faith healing things. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the law.
I feel like this is a good opportunity for us to at least spout off all of this information that we gathered about faith healing in relation to the law in the United States, at the very least.
I am the law.
Calm down, Steve.
I can't help. I'm excited. I'm not that excited, but I'm excited.
So do you want me to start this off, or do you want to start this
off? I could start this bad boy off if you want. There's quite a lot of text in here, and So faith healing and the law. Oh, man. So 38 states and the District of Columbia have religious exemptions in their civil codes on child abuse or neglect, largely because of federal government policy from 1974 to 1983, requiring states to pass such exemptions in order to get federal funding for child protection work. The states, you want me to list them all? There's a bunch of states.
I can go through them real quick.
Oh, go for it.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, and Wyoming.
Man, I can't believe Washington's on the list. That was pretty good, Dave. Additionally, Tennessee exempts caretakers who withhold medical care from being adjusted as negligent.
As being adjudicated as negligent.
Negligent, thank you. I know how to read. If they rely instead on non-medical remedial treatment that is legally recognized or legally permitted. 16 states have religious defenses to felony crimes such against children. Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Minnesota, New Jersey, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin are those particular 16 states. And 15 states have a religious defense to misdemeanors. Alabama, Alaska, California, Colorado, Delaware, Georgia, Kansas, Maine, Mississippi, Missouri, Nevada, New Hampshire, New York, South Carolina, and South Dakota are those 15 states, which you'll see there's quite a number of the same states in there.
Exactly. And Florida has a religious exemption only in civil code, but the Florida Supreme Court nevertheless held that it caused confusion about criminal liability and requiring overturning a felony conviction of Christian scientists for letting their for a specific Christian scientist for letting their daughter die of untreated diabetes, which was Hermanson v. State. And that was back in 1992 that case happened. Fuck, man. Iowa, Idaho, and Ohio have religious defenses to manslaughter.
That's ridiculous.
West Virginia with religious defenses to murder of a child and child neglect resulting in death. Arkansas with a religious defense to capital murder.
What?
Deaths of Christian Science children between 1974 and 1994 from the following causes are in Childs, which is Childs. Child is a organization which helps to defend children from these bullshit laws. Yep. From 1974 to 1994, 5 children died of meningitis, 3 died of pneumonia, 2 of appendicitis, 5 of diabetes, 2 of diphtheria, 1 of measles, 8 of cancer, 1 of septicemia, 1 of kidney infection, 1 of a bowel obstruction, and 1 of heart disease. In 1996, Congress enacted a law stating that the Federal Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act, or CAPTA, did not include a federal requirement that a parent or guardian provide a child any medical service or treatment against the religious beliefs of the parent or guardian.
Right? Freaking crazy. You want me to finish this bad boy off over here? There's a little bit left while Felix is not looking at this document, so he has no idea what we're reading from.
I'm just listening.
Right, good. I'm glad you're enjoying this. But in January 1997, within a month after the religious exemption was added to CAPTA, the Christian Science Church got HB 1104 introduced in Maryland that exempted believers in spiritual healing from all civil and criminal charges, regardless of the harm to the child. Using language taken verbatim from the new federal law. HB 1104 was defeated, which is great.
Before you get into that, just another mention on CAPTA. I fucking knew it. I remembered this. I remembered hearing about this, and I thought, wait a second. We're talking about this on Wednesday. CAPTA, the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act, was the expansion that happened that we just talked about here was basically Hillary Clinton had a major role in these changes to CAPTA. Like, she played a big part in pushing for the compromise on all of this. Let me see if I can specifically find.
When you say compromise, as in like allowing these religious exemptions, or fighting them down, compromise? Like, what side of the battle are you saying that she was a part of? Atheism forever.
She held public events.
David.
The issue of exposure. She pushed her screed, "It takes a village," telling the world how wonderful communal living is. If the big sister had control of our children, it sometimes takes to that effect.
So it doesn't really say necessarily.
Not necessarily, but basically, while all of these changes, because they in CAFTA they did changes with, like, you know, adoption and communal living and shit like that. But basically, she played a key role in finding compromises between Democrats and Republicans on these issues. So there you go. Just a little political note for you there. I wanted to get that pushed out there.
Right.
Anyway,
vote Bernie. Anyway, so in
feel the burn. Feel the burn.
Also, feel the burn, baby. Also, 1999. Right. Hell yeah. Which, by the way,
Hillary's a stooge.
Right. If you are in Washington, Saturday is our caucus. So fucking vote. 1997, Oregon enacted a religious defense to first and second degree manslaughter. In 1998, Washington, boo, enacted the following defense to criminal mistreatment. It is the intent of the legislator that a person who, in good faith, boo, is, that boo is not in there, I added that, is furnished Christian Science treatment by a duly accredited Christian Science practitioner. Oh God, that's crazy. In lieu of medical care, is not considered deprived of medically necessary health care or abandoned.
How can you be a duly accredited Christian Scientist?
I don't know. I can't help but laugh at Christian Science and Christian Scientist. Like, yeah, I mean, how are you an accredited Christian Scientist? What does that even mean? How does one become an accredited?
Are those two titles supposed to contradict each other?
Yeah.
In a way?
I mean, you can believe in being scientists, but if you're right, Christian Science, how about instead of Christian Science, we just do, oh no, this can be crazy. How about just science? Like, how about we just use science and you keep your religious nonsense to yourself? Like, what?
Exactly.
Confusing.
Yeah,
so
it's confusing and it's stupid.
it really is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's absolutely nuts. So lastly, Dave, I'll just finish this fucker off.
Go for it.
In 2003, CAPTA was reauthorized with no change to the religious exemptions, although several organizations called upon Congress to remove the exemptions, including the United Methodist Church, National Association of Medical Examiners, Justice for Children, and the National Child Abuse Coalition, which consists of about 30 national organizations working to prevent child abuse. So that's at least something, right?
That's something.
That was in 2003. That was 13 years ago.
That's something.
Yeah, that's something. So anyways, that was entertaining and kind of also not. I mean, like I said, it's 2016 and there's still people who are faith healing. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, the like a little like additional thing for that 2003. I mean, obviously these exemptions are still in place. They're still there. I mean, you hear about these cases of children dying from neglect. Dying from neglect is there's no easier way to put it. Their parents completely neglect their health and they choose to go with spiritual woo instead of science, which we have evidence that actually fucking works. And only in extreme circumstances do they get punished. Only in extreme circumstances do they get punished. Like the family who, you know, they had one kid and that kid fucking died. Yep. And they went to court and they're like, oh, well, don't do it again. And they did it again. And then it's like, then they finally go off to fucking jail. And it's like, you're fucking kidding me, right?
Fucking nonsense.
Yeah, you're kidding me, right? Why don't we get this shit taken care of in the first place? And
why don't we just not let that happen?
Not allow this to happen.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. So, man, that's like, right? That's crazy shit. So, Felix, so we're going to give you an opportunity. Is there anything that you want to chat about? Anything that's on your mind before we jet out?
I just think it's, you know, it surprises me how it's the 21st century and science is so advanced and people are so lazy, because I think it's just being pure laziness, because you have all the information right there to understand most of the phenomena that goes around, whether you woke up without cancer or you don't know where we come from, you know, evolution and the Big Bang and stuff, and people still choose to, you know, believe, you know, in this whole superstition and stuff that it's not even, you can't even prove it. You can't even, you know, there's no real evidence to support.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, Christians can't even agree on what's in their own holy scripture. Like how, I mean, there's so many different sects.
Yeah. And I mean, to go off a little,
40,000.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, 40,000.
over 40,000 different denominations and individual churches. But to go off a little bit more of what you're saying there, how, you know, it is a form of yeah, I would agree, laziness and ignorance also.
Yeah.
Willing ignorance. Because, I mean, it's understandable for us to, you know, our generation who grew up with the internet to sit here and say, motherfucker, the information is out there. How are you still believing in this shit? This is ridiculous. Why don't you do a little bit of research? But all of the people who are in charge of our government, who are in charge of our laws, come from an age where access to information was not readily available to them. And
Yeah, no,
so
they played with sticks instead of cell phones.
They find the idea of instant access to all of the world's information in your fucking hand to be, I don't want to say magic, because they already believe in magic. They find it
right.
Yeah, exactly. It's a threat, and it's like inconceivable to them, where they still come from a world where, you know, it's like, oh, you read about it on the internet. Well, you can't trust what's on the internet. And it's like, well, actually, you can trust a lot of the things that you read on there if you know how to do your fucking research.
Trust a lot more than I trust what you have to say, because you came from an age where you're not very educated. So, yeah.
They point and they judge my generation because, oh, you trust whatever the internet's, you know, whatever you find on the internet. Yet they trust whatever they find in a book that was written in the Bronze Age.
Yep.
From that, it's not even an original, you know, manuscript. It's the Bible is the copy of the copy of the copy of the copy of the copy
of the modified version of the lost translation of a
lost translation that was
and even outside of Christianity, I mean, look at the Islamic theocracies and, you know, the theocracies around the world with like the Vatican. I mean, they're basing their government off of these holy books that, like you guys just said, have been translated and are millennia old, or not millennia. No, not millennia. Sorry, getting my terms wrong. Centuries and centuries old. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's
mind-blowing.
Mind-boggling.
Right, mind-boggling. When bottles up in your mind. Yeah.
And it kind of pisses me off because sometimes they choose to not do the research.
Yeah.
You say evolution, at least in my university, it's a Christian university. Like, you say the word evolution in my introduction to Christian faith class, which is a class that I have to take. It's not optional.
Yeah, gotta know how to have Christian faith.
Yeah, like you say, it's more of a theology class. Still, it's stupid. But you say evolution, and it's like you were spitting in the eye of the professor or something.
Wow.
Because for some reason, he believes that if evolution is true, I think I said this in a podcast. In a Periscope. Like, if evolution is true, then then rape should be legal. Yeah. Because you guys must have heard this argument already. How our evolutionary purpose is to spread our genes and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no morality,
that's
right?
Somehow.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if we take that concept, maybe that's something that would have been like permissible in a time when we did not have a society that actually looked towards the benefit of one another and had expressed empathy, and we were more animal than civilized. Right. But now we actually live under a set of laws that, you know, takes into account what other people are having to deal with. And, you know, if you rape someone, we take a look at benefit versus harm, and you're not really benefiting the person that you're raping. So fuck you, motherfucker.
You're harming the well-being. Well, I mean, plus, like, I'm sorry, but so if evolution is true, then we should just go around and rape. Yeah, well, life isn't just about fucking, just so you know, and like procreating. There's more to it than just that. Like,
there's more to it than that.
Right?
Although it is an awesome part. It is an awesome part of it.
It's fantastic, but it's not the only thing that we live for, if you will. So,
exactly. And I think the one thing that upsets me the most, it's not the fact that there's professors teaching this or whatever, but the fact that the student's mindset is to whatever the professor says, it's the absolute truth. And whatever he says, it must be right because he's the professor and he has a doctorate and he has a whatever, you know, he's super prepared in this and he's the professor, so whatever he says must be true.
Which completely goes against the idea of what college is supposed to be in the first place. It's supposed to be a place to challenge ideas.
I mean, at least my professor he welcomes the debating of ideas and stuff to a certain extent, because if, let's say, if I bring up logical fallacies in his arguments and stuff like that, then he'll get super pissed and he won't even let me talk.
Yep, that's a defense mechanism.
Exactly, and it's sure he welcomes debate as long as you admit that he is the one that's right.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm welcome to listen to debate. We can have a debate as long as you recognize I'm right. So as we can debate all you want. Right. That's crazy. All right. Well,
and it's stupid. So
yeah, that's nuts, man. That's awesome. Doesn't sound like a very positive place to, you know, procure thought. Not at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have been going for a good hour and 15 minutes, which is pretty cool. We were able to get through all the information. And it's even more amazing that, Felix, you joined us. That's pretty freaking rad. We really appreciate you jumping on. And, yeah, it's pretty amazing. And just so, just like
all of this out. So now, hey, everybody, it works. It works. I may be a little bit choppy, but you can totally, right there,
right? Plus, we can play things, too, like watch this clip and look at this stuff. That's pretty sweet.
I was the guinea pig.
Yeah. That's right. Guinea pig, and it worked out.
So in that case, guinea pig, I'm going to hang up on you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, dude. And remember, if there's anything, like, if you know, we're here definitely to support you. So if you guys, you know, you need anything and things go down, we're here.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, that's a little bit better way to check that out.
Yeah, bigger, right? Yeah. Cool, awesome. Anyway. Thanks, Felix, for joining us. And you have a godless night, dude. Yeah, totally. Oh,
so long.
Cool. That was pretty rad, huh? Right? Hang up. So sweet. Nice. That's pretty freaking amazing.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, I'm all jittery now. Like, I'm all like butterflies. That was pretty freaking cool. So yeah, like I said, guys, today's episode obviously about prayer and faith healing. This is a friendly reminder for you guys to go check out warrior.stju.org/thisatheistlife. Again, July 16th, Dave and I are going to be running in the Warrior Dash. We're trying to raise as much money as we can. Right now, we've raised $100. Again, thank you so much, Anthony. And we'd really like to raise at least $1,000 if we can, and anything more than that would be phenomenal. Again, if we can be the top, team that donates, they'll announce us. And again, it'd be really cool to see, you know, an atheist group in a community be the largest donators, if you will. So, and again, we don't take any of this money. Dave and I are not going to benefit from this in terms of cash wise at all. Matter of fact, my ass is going to die in a pit of mud. I feel it. So, and it'll be recorded. So that's the other thing too. We'll record it and you're going to watch it. So yeah,
we'll get this shit. We'll get this shit taken care of.
Right. Exactly. So like I said, guys, you know, check us out. And a reminder, we're on every 2 weeks. So the next time we're on, it's not going to be next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. What day is that, Dave? Do you know?
Oh, okay. Here I am getting everything set up to do our outro and everything. That is going to be April 6th.
April 6th.
April 6th.
April 6th. So that's the next time we're going to be jumping on. We'll announce what it is. Our topic will be. Dave and I just kind of chat about things we want to learn about. So if you guys have any suggestions, shoot it over to show@thisatheistlife.com or thisatheistlifeshow@gmail.com. Don't forget to
hit us
follow
up on Twitter.
Yeah, hit us on Twitter at This Atheist Life. Follow us on Periscope at This Atheist Life. And you can also check out our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page, by the way. There's like 2 likes, I think. So go there and like it. That'd be awesome.
Facebook page?
Yeah, I created it, but I didn't really pimp it out. You know me in marketing. I'm not really that guy. I'm not really good at it. I sit on a screen and talk with my sweet mic.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's how that goes. But thanks again, guys, everyone. Thanks everyone for jumping on and asking questions and being a part of this. And thank you again, Felix, for jumping on and not only testing that, but chatting with us. We really appreciate your opinion and you chatting with us about faith healing. So thanks, Dave, for doing everything that you do when it comes to technologically. And all you listeners, you have a godless life.
Shut up and sit down.